livelihood of millions of people depend on the billions of dollars in trade that flow through these sea lanes each day. And yet, in the South China Sea, we know that Beijing continues to coerce, to intimidate, and to make claims to the vast majority of the South.
We can go to Singapore and speak to Victor Teo, who is a political scientist and the Cold War Visiting Research Fellow at the University of Cambridge. Victor, welcome to the program. I mean, how difficult is the position for Southeast Asian nations? Are they basically being forced to choose between Beijing and Washington?
Well, not so much in the current year. Certainly during the Trump administration, there was a danger of being forced to choose. But I think by and large, the Biden administration understands the difficulties of the Southeast Asian nations, as do China today. So both the US and China have been very careful when they communicate with the Southeast Asian nations. But having said that, going down the line, as the US-China competition heats up, there might be certain scenarios where the Southeast Asian nations will have to choose.
Have there been any international legal judgments about China's activities in the South China Sea? I mean, that report and Kamala Harris's little clip in that report also made it clear how important that waterway is. $5.3 trillion is one estimate of how much trade passes through the South China Sea every year. 33% of all global trade that travels across international waters goes through the South China Sea. So you can see how important it is to China, which is the regional power there. What about the legality of its actions?
Well, there has been a UN tribunal ruling against some of the Chinese actions vis-a-vis the Philippines in the South China Sea. And so far, the Chinese have not abided by the ruling because the Chinese say that the UN actually has no jurisdiction here. The action was brought by the Philippines to the UN courts. Unfortunately, the Chinese did not respond, and consequently, the UN tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines. So there has been a ruling, but the ruling has not been observed by China.
Do you see any possibility of a conflict, even if it's low level, between China and the United States in that part of the world?
Not China and the United States per se, because the US actually is not a claimant to the South China Sea dispute. However, there have been skirmishes between the regional navies of Indonesia, or the coast guards really of Indonesia, of Vietnam, as well as Malaysia, with the Chinese boats. But it's not just exclusive to the Chinese, because the regional countries in Southeast Asia who are involved in disputes, they actually arrest each other's fishermen that they perceive to be venturing into their waters. So there is tension in the region, but it's not as bad, because the Southeast Asian Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, has been trying to work out a code of conduct with China. And I think they are making some movement on the code of conduct. As of yesterday, the Vietnamese prime minister has actually met with the Chinese ambassador before the Vice President Harris arrived, and assured that the Vietnamese would not take an alliance position with the US against China. But he has also added that it is vital that the Southeast Asian nations negotiate with the code of conduct more quickly with China vis-a-vis the South China Sea.
So lots of talking still taking place. Victor, thank you so much for your time. Victor Teo in Singapore.